In this video we are going to talk about Tiger Woods refused an insane amount of money from LIV Golf. So before starting this video, like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel for future updates. It had to be Tiger Woods, since no one else would turn down a 9-figure contract. And when people first learned about it, they were completely taken aback. It's clear that the LIV Golf Tour, which is supported by Saudi Arabia, is willing to spend a lot of money to attract the biggest names in golf. First and foremost, a once-in-a-lifetime golf deal. The PGA Tour is without a doubt the most popular event. Nothing compares to the level of competition and entertainment provided by the PGA Tour. However, LIV Golf, a new tour backed by Saudi Arabia, is being aggressively promoted to compete against the PGA Tour. How successful it will be remains to be seen. The LIV Golf CEO Greg Norman was quoted by Ken Babb of the Washington Post as reporting that Tiger was given a mind-bogglingly big deal. We're talking 9-figure sums, including a mind-boggling $1 billion to bring Tiger Woods to the LIV Golf Tour. So when we said that only someone like Tiger could turn down a 9-figure contract, we weren't kidding, even though it sounds like Tiger is used to getting the deal of a lifetime. For years, he's been at the top of the game, and his endorsements and off-court deals have kept the cash rolling. Although, when you consider it, Tiger Woods has been playing golf for about 26 years, and has amassed a net worth of over $1.5 billion during that time. So, unlike the other deals Tiger gets on a regular basis, we're very confident he didn't have the option to make more than half of his career earnings through a single contract. However, it's likely that the golfing legend had his reasons for declining a life-changing offer. Well, we have to give credit to Greg Norman, who was willing to throw $1 billion at the LIV Golf Tour to get it off the ground. While several great players have signed deals to play on the new tour, none of them compare to what Tiger was offered in exchange for his PGA Tour devotion. Remember how we said Tiger had to have good cause to turn down a $1 billion contract? Well, believe it or not, he only has one reason, and that reason is loyalty. He also doesn't care for new tours. And if the subject is money, he believes there is plenty of it available. The PGA Tour, on the other hand, is the place to be if you're interested in legacies, huge sporting events, possibilities, and historical comparisons, and Tiger's commitment to the PGA Tour stems from his desire to leave a legacy. It makes some sense. The LIV Golf Tour is a relatively recent event in the golf industry. Sure, there's a lot of money to be made, but no one knows whether the tour will take off. Just because there are a few big names doesn't mean it'll be a good tour. The experience of playing on a legacy tour like the PGA has a different ring to it. But, let's not hide the fact that Tiger Woods' signing would have had a significant impact on the LIV Golf Tour. Maybe that's why Greg Norman wasn't hesitant to offer Woods $1 billion, despite the fact that the best offer outside of the Tigers was more than $100 million. We're not suggesting it's a little sum, but it pales in comparison to Tiger's offer. So Greg had figured out what would make the tour a success, but he couldn't make it happen. At the end of the day, everything except loyalty is a monetary value. Tiger should be commended for being true to his roots. And now, even if Tiger wants to compete on the LIV Golf Tour, what's actually going on? Guess what he couldn't do? PGA Tour Commissioner Monahan stated that any player who chooses to play for the LIV Golf Tour risked being suspended and, in the worst-case scenario, barred from playing golf for the rest of their lives, forgetting about the actual tour. Evans also denied releases for players to play in the LIV Golf Tour's inaugural event in London. Okay, there were two things. Either the PGA Tour has never faced such a strong competitor before, or everyone simply despises Greg Norman and the LIV Tour, and we honestly don't know which. The management at LIV has been working extremely hard, though it does help a lot when you can buy your way out of anything, as our record holder, Jack Nicklaus, was offered over $100 million by the Saudis to do jobs similar to what Greg is doing. Even though the majority of players have remained faithful to the PGA Tour, we have noticed a minor rivalry developing. So when Jack Nicklaus declared that LIV is nothing exceptional and that he will remain loyal to the PGA, Greg quickly slammed him as a hypocrite, pointing out that this is the same guy who said LIV would be beneficial to our game. Norman also chastised Rory McIlroy for claiming that LIV is nothing to get excited about, claiming that Rory has been brainwashed by the PGA's monopolist anyway. that we must understand that Greg is now the CEO of LIV, and that anyone who takes a shot on the new tour better be prepared to take a few hits in return, and that all of this makes us wonder how the dynamics would have changed if Tiger had said yes next. In other news, anyone who wants to play in the LIV League is being labeled a rebel at this point. But we think being labeled a rebel is a small price to pay when compared to $280 million. Yes, after Tiger Woods turned down $1 billion contract, golfing legend Phil Mickelson rose to the occasion and accepted a very lucrative contract worth $280 million. What's more problematic about Mickelson's participation in the LIV circuit is what he said about it back in February, when the six-time major winner took to Twitter to trash the PGA and then take a dig at the LIV Tour's Saudi supporters. He didn't say anything about the PGA, but his remarks about the Saudi backers got him into a lot of problems. He described them as frightening because of their poor human rights record. We're not sure where that came from. Maybe he knows something we don't, but we're assuming it wasn't anything major compared to $280 million. And now it's backfiring. And in case you thought Phil Mickelson was the only golfer who chose Ivy over the PGA, think again. You were mistaken. Kevin Nunn, who has made over 450 PGA starts, recently announced his retirement from the tour to join the Saudi-backed LIV. We don't know how much Kevin will be paid, but we're sure it will be a lot since it forced him to leave the PGA. If you ask us, we believe a lot of it has to do with Jay Monahan's subtle threats. Kevin stated that leaving the PGA Tour was one of the most difficult decisions he's ever made. But he didn't have an option because present policies prevent him from exercising his freedom to play professional golf. In other words, Kevin was implying that he would not be afraid of Jay's threats and would instead do what he wanted. Wherever there's money, he'll go. And when you put it like way, it doesn't seem so horrible, does it? Finally, everything isn't perfect. We could go on and on about players making headlines for joining the LIV League, but it's only fair to offer you all sides of the story, since many major names are joining the Saudi-backed tour chief commercial officer. Sean Brock has resigned from his position as a result of CEO Greg Norman's contentious comments. The majority of it appears to be connected to the terrible death of Saudi writer Jamal Khashoggi. Norman described the murder as a blunder and advised journalists on how to avoid making such mistakes in the future. It didn't go over well with journalists in the golfing world, and his companion Sean Branch was fired. It takes away a lot of the team's legitimacy, but the MIB still has a lot of famous personalities behind it, including former US President Donald Trump, who recently encouraged players to join the LIV without hesitation. To be honest, we believe it is beneficial to the sport, and that the PGA administration should not regard the LIV as a major threat. It's the same with way things are being politicized. What do you think about this video? Do let us know down in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from us again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go.